Director of Enterprise Business Technology, Development Strategy, and Operations at ConsenSys Systems, presenting their service, ConsenSys.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. First of all, thank you for having us here. My name is John. I work for a company called ConsenSys. We are a software development group headquartered in New York City, and we build software solutions around the Ethereum ecosystem. So today, we're kind of short on time, so I'm going to talk fast, but the goal is to show you a demonstration of a, let's say, somewhat complex financial instrument transacting on the blockchain. So this is our total return swap demo, and it's based on the notion of identity. And so one of the more powerful considerations to take into account when thinking about the blockchain is the notion of self-sovereign identity, so being able to actually own attributes and attestations that describe who you are as a person by virtue of controlling the private key. And in this way, you can actually granularly dole out access to those attributes effectively to your identity to various counterparties. So in this example, we're going to start with identity. And so the user inputs their UPort password. And UPort is a system that we built that's effectively an identity container. It holds the private keys and the various attributes about your identity. So now we can log into the system and we can see
with Bitcoin wallets that only hold cryptographic tokens of value.
Maybe we might want to turn the volume down.
Ethereum,
OK, great, thanks. This is a demo video that we've prepared with our friends at Microsoft, our partners at Microsoft, and we've shown it around the world to numerous financial institutions, and just the other day we showed it to the CFTC in the United States. So here we can see that this user is Nigel. We can see his public address. So just like a Bitcoin wallet, this is his identifier. And we have normalized the attributes and attestations contained within his identity into a score so that we can effectively assess what his reputation is. And based on reputation, we can then determine the variables that describe our risk appetite in the trade. And then the SD just basically means swap dealer, so we also know what kind of a user he is. So now we get into the next part, and this is the notion of a smart contract, which is really the powerful sort of thing to consider when thinking about the blockchain and Ethereum. And so here we can basically program arbitrarily complex business logic into the Ethereum blockchain and have that smart contract execute exactly as we've described. So in this case, we've got, so earlier we could again, take the public key of the counterparty and from the blockchain pull information relevant to their identity. So now we know who we're engaging in this transaction with, even though at the onset of the trade, we didn't actually know who that counterparty was. We can set the notional amount. In this case, it's $10 million. And this is a total return swap, which is basically you're betting on two underlying assets and the delta, the difference in the price, over a period of time. In this case, gold versus Microsoft over 4 minutes. And so the notional amount is 10 million, 4 minutes, Microsoft gold. We can input various, let's say, terms of the contract, such as counterparty collateral requirements, blockchain asset account requirements. And in this particular example, we're using the notion of reputation to effectively engineer our appetite for risk. And so what we're saying is that if there's any reputation downgrade, then the collateral requirements for the counterparty will change, and the blockchain asset account will automatically be pulled into the collateral account. So we've got encumbered collateral and like efficient use of capital. Maybe just fast forward a bit, Tomoki. Yeah, I got to just fast forward a bit because we're short on time. And sorry if I'm talking really fast. I don't want to get kicked off the stage before I'm done. So here we see the two counterparties, Nigel Woolworth and Macy Hawkins. We can see both of their positions. The interesting thing is the required collateral account and the blockchain asset account. Maybe if we could pause, that'd be great. OK, thank you. And so we can kind of see both counterparties. And so what we do is we fund the collateral account. And basically, we push a button, and the money goes onto the blockchain and goes into a smart contract. And basically, that smart contract is governing how that capital will be used in the course of this trade. And that is cryptographically secured and assured by basically math, which is really cool. So we're kind of removing let's say, the potential for human error or for, well, even corruption, actually. And so in the United States, there's a requirement to upload corresponding ISDA documents. And so in this way, we use something called IPFS. We upload the documents into IPFS. It returns a hash. We put the hash into the smart contract. And now the smart contract can always identify the corresponding documents. We sign and send to the counterparty. Let's fast forward a bit to Moki. So now we've put in all the various terms. We've funded the account. We've signed. We've sent to the counterparty. And now that the counterparty is signed, the smart contract will actually begin. And what's really interesting here is as the price movements change, the collateral and margin requirements are automatically recalibrated. So if there's a movement in price, according to the terms that we put into the smart contract at the onset of the trade, the collateral will adjust accordingly. In this case, and I don't know if we have time, as I might get kicked off here, but there's a reputation downgrade later in the demo, and we had prescribed at the beginning of the trade that in the event of a reputation downgrade, the collateral requirements will also increase. And so in this demo, we are able to pull the collateral requirements from the blockchain asset account. And in this way, we're able to ensure the integrity of the trade. So you never get into a situation where you call your broker and say, hey, man, I need you to put a bunch of money in the account by noon or I'm unwinding the trade. We're basically eliminating the potential for that to happen. So that's the reputation downgrade. And the collateral account automatically draws from the asset account according to what was prescribed at the onset of the smart contract. The other interesting thing is as this trade is happening, the accounting is all being automated. We're using this notion of triple entry accounting. So we're pulling data from the blockchain and basically doing the accounting in real time. So the demo is an interest. And so, of course, in the end, we can see that Microsoft is indeed better than gold. Which is a big shout out to our partners at Microsoft who have been fantastic from the start. And so this now releases the funds to both the counterparties as prescribed by the smart contract. All the accounting is automated and done, and this is why the blockchain is cool. Thank you.